Good morning. You are listening to UpReach, a morning devotional presented by the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee, to encourage you as you face the opportunities and challenges of today. Let's begin this day together with some inspiring thoughts from God's holy word. He who covers his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13. None of us are immune from making poor choices in our lives. David makes a number of seemingly minor choices that snowball into an avalanche of suffering, shame, and tragedy. It starts when he chooses to stay at home in Jerusalem instead of going out to lead his troops into battle, as is his professional and personal responsibility. As a result, David has too much time on his hands, which ultimately leads him into committing adultery with Bathsheba and then trying to cover up that sin with murder. So God sends the prophet Nathan to tell King David a story. There were two men in a town, one rich, one poor. The rich man had many sheep and cattle. The poor man had nothing but one little ewe lamb, which he raised like one of the family. The ewe lamb shared the man's food, drank from his cup, and slept in his arms. One day, when the rich man had a guest to entertain, he didn't want to slaughter any of his own sheep or cattle, so he took the poor man's lamb, killed it, and prepared it as a feast for his guest. David responds, "The rich man deserves death," he says. "He must pay the man 4 times the value of the lamb because he did an unjust thing and had no compassion." Then Nathan turns to King David and says, "You are the man. This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you from the hand of Saul. I gave your master's house to you, and your master's wives into your arms. I gave you the house of Israel and Judah. And if all this had been too little, I would have given you even more. Why did you despise the word of the Lord by doing what is evil in his eyes? You struck down Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and took his wife to be your own." To his credit, David then confesses and repents of his sins, and God forgives him. God's forgiveness restores the broken relationship between himself and the sinner. But forgiveness cannot make everything exactly as it once was. Sin has consequences that forgiveness cannot change. David has consequences he has to live with for the rest of his life. This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.